KHEA Radio. It's just after 10:30. This is Clear Life Combat. My name's Gardy. I have a guest that's zooming in on a super cold day. I got Josh Cakes Dawson. What's up, man? How you doing?
Good, man. What's up? How you doing?
I'm good. It's cold. Have you been outside today?
No, I haven't, thankfully. But yesterday was pretty cold, so I was definitely not excited to come back to the cold. I thought I was going to be coming back to warm Texas, but no, it's pretty cold. I was kind of disappointed about that.
Yeah. So first things first, you're competing tomorrow for Fight to Win. You're going to be able to watch that, I believe, on Flow Grappling. You can also get tickets and attend if you're in Austin, and we'll be touching on that as well. But you mentioned like getting back to Texas. Where have you been? What's been going on?
So I got invited by Professor Kendall Rusing to go join them for their ADCC camp that they're doing for the trials, for the West Coast trials in April. And so that's, for me, that's the next like big tournament that I'm really focusing on. And so I had the opportunity to go join her and her team for getting ready for this camp. So I've been out in California for the last 2.5 weeks training with them, just getting ready for that rule set. And so I've been enjoying, the California weather. I'm not gonna lie, it's been pretty nice, been a little bit spoiled. And then I came back, I thought it was gonna be hot and humid, normal Texas weather. And then I come back and it's freezing, and I'm like, man, I got to get all my winter clothes out. Like, I was kind of mad. I was like, what the heck? It was so cold yesterday.
Yeah. So with the camp out there in California, was it nonstop training? Was there time to go surfing or do any of the other things that you like to do?
Yeah. So we trained Sunday through Friday, and then Friday afternoon, and then Saturday we have off. So I've been surfing like Friday afternoon or Saturdays I'll go surfing. So it's pretty nice because I get to go do something else that's pretty fun. It's been beautiful weather out there. So I've been going down to Huntington, go surf a little bit and, clear my head and enjoy the day and the beautiful weather.
How's your preparation going for the trials?
Man, it's going great. I have a great team out there. We have a great group of competitors that are all pushing each other, getting ready for the trials. Man, the training's hard, but it's smart training. A lot of it's broken up into positional training, situational rounds, and then a lot of wrestling, because ADCC is very heavy on the wrestling. It's, so we've been working, like a lot of wrestling, like Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday is just wrestling rounds. And Professor Kendall is such a high level wrestler. And I feel like over the last 2 weeks, I've just learned so much from her on the wrestling side of things. And then of course other things, but I feel like my wrestling has made a huge jump in the last 2 weeks. So I'm pretty excited about that. And everything else is going great. So I'm really excited for the fight this weekend because I'm going to showcase, a little bit of different things that I'm not used to showcasing. And then at the same time, like trials is coming up quick and I'm feeling really confident and good for that. So I'm excited.
All right. So your opponent, and I'm looking at the fly right now, Nassif McPherson. I'm going to show that. If you're watching on social media, you'll be able to see that. If you're going back and listening to the podcast version, he's going to be competing tomorrow in Austin at Fight to Win 193. Do you know anything about your opponent? And I'm guessing your opponent knows a little bit about you because you just competed in Dallas. But do you know anything about him?
Honestly, no. I kind of wish I knew a little bit about him. But, usually I like to prepare by watching a little video on him, not overly crazy, but just like one or two like matches, just to get an idea of like, oh, if he's a guard puller, if he's a wrestler, if he likes to play top, whatever. But I couldn't find anything on him. So it's been a little bit different than my normal preparation. But, I have my game plan and I'm going to implement it. So it doesn't really matter what he decides to do. I'm going to force my game plan and, come out with the dub, hopefully.
So Fight to Win 190 in Dallas, you did compete at that. Can you kind of give us a rundown? What happened? How did it go?
Man, that event went really well. I was really excited. I felt very confident going into it. And, you just get that feeling like I always know when I'm going to win because like you just have that feeling. You step onto the mat and instead of like those nerves, like the moment I step on the mat, I just get calm and I'm focused. Like it's almost like a hyper focus, And so we got out there and had a killer warm up. I had a great team out there with me. I had Professor Ariane DeMello. He drove up to coach me. And then I had one of my close friends, David Martinez. It was funny because the last couple of times, my last two super fights, I've had David with me and he's been a harder warm up than my actual fight, you know? So like him and I are literally in the back. Like it looks like I've just gone like a couple hard rounds with him, because that's how I warm up, you know? And so him and I were going for like literally like 30 minutes, like really like we were doing live training in the back. And honestly, he's a really good training partner for me. So like it was a harder warm up with him than the match was, which is good, you know? So I was stoked, but I came out with the win. I think I got the submission in about like a minute 15 and via inside heel hook. And so I pulled guard pretty quickly into the match, and then just worked to get to the position I like. I really like playing reverse De La Hiva from the guard and no gi. And so then I set up my leg lock entry and hit that honey hole. And once I got there, it was pretty much done. So
I saw Professor Lucas Valente has been doing a leg lock seminar over there at Gracie Baja, Texas. I think it's like all month long or something like that.
Yeah. They just started that this month, so it's going to be the whole month of February. They're going to be doing like leg locks, so that's awesome, because Professor Lucas is such a talented athlete, but he's a really great professor as well. And so he's got so much knowledge in that area that it's great to like, you know, have the opportunity to learn all that and absorb it, you know.
And you mentioned David Martinez, but I saw him and his son. They were at the Zone, and there was a grappling competition, and they both got gold in that. And I'm sure he couldn't have been more proud of his son, but that was cool to see, at least like the pictures and stuff he had posted.
Yeah, man, him and his son they're so cool. I mean, they're like family for me, you know. His son Ryland's about 9, and he's always tagging along with me and him. So, you know, we're always going to train, or, you know, I'm training at his house. He's got a bunch of mats. So he's always around. He's a little killer, man. And honestly, everyone's gonna have to watch out for him, because his dad's really good. And, you know, his dad puts a lot of time into it. And, David's really good, and I really enjoy training with him. And then Ryland is, you know, he's so young. He's 9. So by the time he gets to my age, man, with the knowledge that he has around him and the people, like, man, he's gonna be a killer. So it's gonna be like really cool.
So tomorrow, when you compete for Fight to Win in Austin, do you have anyone coming with you to coach or support?
Yeah, so I flew back to Houston a day early so I could spend time with my family, because I'm gonna go back to California on Sunday to go back out, to go train and do the ADCC camp. So I'm gonna go up with my family, and then Professor Saul from California is gonna fly out to coach me on Saturday.
How long? So after this event, how long are you going to be out in California again?
Until April.
So you're going to stay out there the whole time?
Yeah, because the way we're doing the camp is it's pretty much like I got there like a week late. Like it started in like beginning of January, and I got there like a week later. But pretty much the camp is until April, and the trial is the first weekend of April. So I'm gonna be out there doing that, because, you know, I'm just training no gi right now. Like I'm putting the gi on like once or twice a week just to, you know, like stay in it. I like training in the gi too. But like my main focus is no gi and getting ready for the trials. So I'm just focusing on that, and have a really solid group of people out there that are pushing me and helping me improve. So,
you know, besides being in another state, how different is the schedule, as far as like whenever you're here, you know, at Gracie Baja, Texas, outside of, you know, then you're over there. I mean, there would be like a little bit less distractions. I mean, you train a lot already, but how much different is it schedule-wise and everything?
The training schedule stayed about the same. You know, here I was training about 2 to 3 times a day. You know, normally I would train 2 times jiu-jitsu and then 1 time weights. So, you know, we have days that are like that with the schedule, where we're, you know, training twice, and then we have weights, and then some days are easier, you know, because like the beginning of the week is such a hard training, because it's like a lot of wrestling and a high intensity rounds, you know. So usually like Sunday and Monday and Tuesday are like really intense. So then like Wednesday is kind of a lighter day. Like usually Wednesday morning it's drilling, a little bit lighter training, and then I like Wednesday afternoon usually I'll just teach. I won't really train because like I need to rest my body so that on Thursday and Friday I can train harder, you know. So the training schedule, it's pretty similar, honestly, because like for me it hasn't changed much. I mean, still consistent. It's just a lot more no gi, you know. So it's pretty much switching my gi training for the amount of gi that I trained of twice a day to, you know, no gi. Now I'm training that twice a day.
So yesterday I had a chance to talk to Matt Coper. He trains out of Brazilian Fight Factory, and he was at the ADCC East Coast trials, and he's prepping for the West Coast as well. And I asked him, and I think we talked a little bit about this before, but I mean, how much more prepared are you having competed in the East Coast, with the West Coast coming up?
I feel a lot more prepared, especially because I'm able to be in a camp right now. Like last time, I was just training nogi like for Worlds, and I had a couple super fights, and then I was like, and then I signed up for the trial, so it kind of just like fell over into that. But like this time, I understand the rule set. I know what to expect as far as the competition. I had a lot of fun last time, so I'm like really excited to compete in that rule set again because it's a great rule set. But just being able to like have a camp of people that are working towards the same goal as me is making me. I mean, I'm only 2 weeks into the camp. I've been there since the 16th. That's when I got to California. So I've only been there for a little over 2 weeks now. And I already feel so much more prepared just because I'm having the same group of people around me pushing for the same goal. We're like, no one's getting hurt because we're training smart, but we're training hard, and I feel like a lot of areas of my game have been improving that I might have not been improving so much, like I said, my wrestling has improved a lot since being there.
Did anything about the rule set at the East Coast trials, did it surprise you, or had you competed in those rules before?
It didn't surprise me, but I studied the rules. I spent time. There's a hour-long video on YouTube about from Dawson. He's explaining the rules, and I read through them because the worst thing in the world is going to compete and then you think you understand a rule, and then all of a sudden it's like you're wrong, because of, and the ADCC is a tricky rule set, like to get like the first half, like it's a 6-minute match, and in the first half of it, there's no points. You can pull guard, you can do whatever. It's not your typical IBJJF rules. And then once the points come into play, if you pull guard, it's a negative, or if you get taken down, you have to hold them on their back or their butt for 3 seconds. But if they turtle, it's no points, So it's like simple things like that. But I was pretty prepared for the rules. I watched the rules video online, and then I actually showed up for the rules meeting as well, just to make sure if I had any questions or missed anything, that I was ready for that. So I felt like as far as the rules were concerned, I was fine.
Do you have a preference whenever it comes to a specific rule set?
Well, man, lately I really like sub only, and like I like fight to wins rule set because when I first started competing in the adult division, like that was more towards what I was geared towards. I was looking always for the submission, and I didn't really care about points. The problem was that would bite me in the butt sometimes when I would be down on points, and then I'd be like, oh, I'm losing the match, but I was like looking for whatever. Like my first tournament at adult, that's what I did wrong. I didn't even think about points. I was just looking for arm bar, triangle, whatever it was. And so I was like, after I ended up losing that match because I was down, I think like, I don't remember how many points, but I was down a good number of points. And I was like, I almost came back, but I lost by like a few points, which was like frustrating for me. I was like, man, I could have beat this guy if I paid attention to the point system,
Yeah.
But so lately I like sub only more because I feel like that shows jujitsu, like the whole goal of jujitsu is to not win by an advantage or win by points or ref decision, it's to submit your opponent, So I really like sub only rule sets, but I really enjoy the ADCC rule set because it's fun. It's very fast paced. It's very, emphasized on wrestling, So like for me, between fight to wins rule set and ADCC, I think although right now, those are my two favorite rule sets,
Mm-hmm. Okay, so after West Coast trials, what does the rest of this year look like for you?
So I actually just decided this yesterday. I'm gonna put the gi on and go fight Pan Ams. I was talking to some friends the other day, and they're all going to Pans, and I was like, man, I think I'll just throw the gi on and go to Florida and compete. Because like in reality, jiu-jitsu is jiu-jitsu. It doesn't really change if you have the gi or not. Of course, there's, a few differences, like, as far as the leg game and no gi, and then, the collars, sleeves, grips, and all that stuff in the gi. But after ADCC, I think I'm going to go and do Pan Ams and, go have fun and see how that transfers over. But I'm not training that much gi. But it'll be fun. And then, Worlds, I believe is going to be in June. So we'll have Worlds coming up, and then when the no-gi part of the season comes, no-gi pans, no-gi Worlds, go for that.
That's awesome. It sounds busy. You're very busy. I mean, so you've been out in California, you just got back, and then you're going to be competing tomorrow in Austin, then going back to California. Do you ever see yourself like permanently going and staying out there, or falling in love with another place, or a goal you want to live somewhere and just train out there, or do something else?
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of been falling in love with California the last 2 weeks. The weather's super nice. Like, not gonna lie, Houston weather's kind of crappy sometimes. It's very bipolar. Like, one day it's 70 degrees, the next day it's freezing. One day it's humid and hot, next day it's like beautiful and sunny, and so it can't make up its mind. Or even within hours, it'll be like that. But I've been really enjoying it out there. The training's been super fun. I've been training a lot, and I've been having good training partners. But I still miss my family here. GB Tech is my home. I grew up with them, and I have a lot of high-level, great training partners there as well. So I don't know, man. I'm kind of just, taking it as it comes. I'm not like really putting anything planned. My plan is to be there until April right now. And then, we'll see what happens after the trials. But I've been enjoying it out there. Surfing's been pretty nice, adding that back into my regular schedule. And, like surfing on the weekends has been fun. So we'll see. I don't know yet.
How much better is the surf in California than it is in Galveston or Texas?
Bro, it's like exponentially better. It's so much better. Like, I forgot how like nice it is to surf like real waves, because like Galveston like sucks. Like, there's no way around it. Like this is what I tell all my friends. Like, when they ask how the waves are, like, if it was anywhere else in the world, like, that has normal waves, you would not go out and surf. Like, let's just put it, like, when I lived in Costa Rica, and like we would show up to the beach and it's onshore and it's like 2 feet and the waves and it's brown water and it's like a mess, we would go home. We would not go out and surf. But in Texas, it's like, oh, like this is a good day for us, So like, I've been like really spoiled to surf the good waves out there. And I've got like, here, I got used to like, oh, I get one good wave and I'm happy. I'm like, okay, I can go home, Out there, I'm like, I got one good wave and I'm like, I just started my session. I've literally been in the water for 10 minutes. So I have, a lot more time I could surf. So it's been pretty nice,
Yeah. So I've been surfing like 2 times, and they were in Galveston, and I was terrible. My balance was bad. And, but yeah, there was like one good wave. And of course I didn't know what I was doing. This was years ago, but, yeah, that's just what I hear. There's not really that much surf here, but people still try and do it.
Yeah, I mean, with the right hurricane, man, I've honestly I've only had like one really, really good day, and it was in Surfside. It was a hurricane a couple of years back. It hit Florida, but we got the backlash to that, and man, the waves I've never seen waves so good in Texas. Like, I was literally there from sunrise until sunset, and I mean, it was the best day I've ever seen in Texas. Like, it was genuinely like good waves. Like, even if it was California or whatever, like it was great, So I haven't seen a day like that in a while in Texas, but now that I'm in California, I'm seeing a little bit more days like that. So
yeah. Is there anything else, outside of training in jiu-jitsu? We talk about surfing, but what else is it that you can get into that can kind of, like video games or anything else like that kind of keeps you a time to like unwind, I guess?
Yeah, video games and skateboarding. I'd say I don't skate as much as I used to, because like I tend to get hurt when I go skateboarding and then I can't train. So I kind of like pulled back on that a little bit.
Yeah.
But I've been playing video games with my friends, but lately I've been so busy, man. Like, I haven't really had time to. But like, that was what I did when I lived here. Me, Ariane, and David, that's what we did and even David's son, he would play with us too on Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And man, he would smoke us. It's so annoying. And then he'd talk crap to us. Like, his 9-year-old would beat us in Call of Duty and then talk crap, So it's pretty funny. But yeah, that's what I would do. Like, I'm kind of been a little bit busier now, so I haven't been able to play video games as much. But yeah, man, like video games, surfing, and then I mean, I don't know what else, like watching fights or whatever. That's probably what I do to unwind,
Yeah, and the time zone difference too. That'd be trippy. Even try and make it work in California.
Yeah, I'm 2 hours behind over there, so it's like, if I'm getting back from training or teaching or whatever, it's 9 o'clock here in California. It's 11 o'clock in Houston, and they might be up for another hour. So probably not, because they both have jobs and other stuff they got going, families, So they can't really stay up late during the week. So it's like maybe on the weekends we'll figure it out.
Okay, so you're pretty young. How old are you again?
19.
You're 19. So, outside of jiu-jitsu, let's say you never found it. What is it that you wanted to be when you grew up, or what do you think you would be doing right now if you wouldn't have found Brazilian jiu-jitsu?
So that's a great question, man. I really love that question. So I always, since I was a kid, like, if I'm being honest, I always wanted to be a professional athlete of some sort. I didn't know what, but I always wanted to be a professional athlete of some sort. And the reason being was I never could see myself at a desk job, like working a 9 to 5, or, really, I couldn't see that for myself. And I wanted to do something I loved. And my idea growing up, like even when I was, like younger, I always thought, like, if I can be a professional athlete, I'll get paid to do a sport or something that I love, until however long. And so I always wanted something of that, and jiu-jitsu fell into that, because I had started it from when I was younger. And then I've had really great people around me. Professor Draculino has been my professor since I was 5, and then Lucas Valente took me under his wing kind of the last 3 years since I've been back in the States, and been helping me with my nutrition, my competition training and all this stuff. So I'm really grateful for that, and having those people around me to help me like pursue my dreams and stuff, and be able to achieve them. But like growing up, like, yeah, I never wanted a desk job. I didn't, really know what I wanted to do as far as like college. All my friends are in college studying, like, they all study business, all of them, and so I'm like, not like talking crap about it, but like, that's not for me, like, that's not what I want to do. I don't want to go and, work a job. I'd rather do something I love in a place that I love, and right now I'm focused on being a competitor in jiu-jitsu, but, eventually I'd like to own my own gym and, and do that, because I really enjoy teaching, so that, that's further down the line. I still got some time on that, but yeah, like that, I think that's the best answer I got right now.
That's cool. So long-term goal, one day have a gym, somewhere, or build something. What about, like, I guess, like, competition goals that you have? Are there things that you want to achieve before it's all said and done?
Oh yeah, for sure. One of my like big goals right now is, like, I want to win the ADCC trials, and I want to win, ADCC, like the main championship. So, I'm putting in the work so I can make that happen this year. If not, I'm just going to keep training, keep working hard, and eventually, my time will come. Definitely want to be a world champion and at the highest level, so I'm only, blue belt right now, but so hopefully I want to win worlds this year in June, and then I want to win worlds no gi. So I want to be the best athlete and competitor I can be, but also, I want to be the best in the world. So I'm putting in the work, and, I think I have the discipline and dedication to do that.
Okay, you mentioned Professor Lucas Valente helping you with your nutrition. Does any of that stuff get tweaked or changed depending on the rule sets, or like how long, like how long the matches are and all that stuff? Or is it mainly, like, I guess, goals for your body, how you feel, or what changes?
So the only thing that changes really is just when I'm cutting weight. It's just the amount of, carbs I'm intaking, and usually salt, because I usually, like, whenever I cut weight, it's just a salt and water cut. And that'll allow me to drop, anywhere from 5 to 10 pounds in a week, depending on how much I need to drop. Like for Worlds No-Gi, I dropped 13 pounds. I was weighing 170 something, and then the day I fought, I was 160 something. So I had to be 162 and a half. I think I was like 161. I started at like 174, 173. But so it really just depends on that. But normally for like my day-to-day nutrition, it doesn't change. If we haven't, he's got for me right now, it's been working really well. I feel really good. He's got all my macros, everything laid out. He knows all the science behind everything. I'm not questioning him. I'm just like, all right, you say eat, 2 avocados and this and this and this. All right, that's what I'm gonna eat for lunch. Like he's got a little program for me, and then he's also got one for himself. And Professor Jordan Weisman, and some other people. So that, that's been a serious like help for my part of being a professional athlete. That was one thing I was thankful for whenever he started helping with that was, I had a good weight training going. I had really good jujitsu. I had like other stuff, but I was like, man, I'm eating like good most of the time, but like I didn't have like a consistent like nutrition plan. So having him help me out with that's really been a game changer for my like nutrition. And I've been feeling a lot, like I feel really good, and so I'm pretty stoked about that.
Is that hard or easy to maintain whenever you're in another state? I mean, are you cooking for yourself or just trying to make it work, or how are you doing it?
So when I was here, I was doing a lot of cooking for myself, and I was weighing out the foods, making sure, okay, it says, however many grams or ounces of this, and, weighing it out and stuff. And so I figured out, the approximate quantities of like, okay, if it says X amount of rice, it's pretty much the same amounts for each meal, depending on what I change it for. Because I can change it, if I don't want to eat rice and I want to eat pasta, I can change it out. And so I cook here, but also I lived with my parents here. So like my mom helped me. Sometimes she would help make meals that would fit my plan or whatever. But now being in California, I'm living with Professor Kendall and a couple other athletes there in California. And so I don't have my mom to cook for me. I have to cook every single meal, which is like, I'm not gonna lie, man. I've only been there 2 weeks. And the other day I told Kendall, I was like, I'm broke. I'm like, man, I just want to go eat out. I don't want to cook anymore. I was so frustrated. But it's pretty much been similar over there. I've been cooking more because I don't live with my parents. But it's been the same plan and same, amounts of food. I've just having to been change it a little bit while I'm there. So yeah.
Yeah, it's not easy, but I have seen like she had shared even some photos, and you had posted some in the stories, and you look great. You look jacked. I was like, I don't know what's your weight. I was like, yeah, he looks good.
Yeah, my weight's 170 right now. I was feeling like really good after those pictures. I'm not gonna lie. I just had a really good weight training session. Since I've been out there, I've been working with her strength and conditioning coach, and she's great. Definitely making me work different parts. It was funny. I had a workout with her the other day. And the hard part was supposed to be like the weight training. And then the easy part was supposed to be like the core and mobility stuff. But it was switched for me because I never do core and mobility stuff. And I only do like weight training. So the weights were easy. We were doing like a bunch of deadlifts and snatches and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, I feel good. And then I had to do this weird mobility core stuff. And I'm like shaking, trying to like hold it, like, I'm like, this is totally reversed. And I was like, this sucks. I don't like this at all. So, but it's been making me sore in different areas that I'm not used to, so it's been great working with her, and she's really knowledgeable and much more than I am. I just kind of figured out, what workouts work as I go, trying to make sure I hit the muscle groups that I think I need to be hitting, and so on top of my nutrition and then my weight plan with her, I was like, man, I was like looking at myself in the mirror after training. And then I was like, I'm looking like good. I was like, I'm going to post this for sure. So
yeah, that is fun. That's fun. I saw it. I was like, yep, you look great. It's working.
Yep.
Yeah. One thing that I think she's a big proponent of is fighter pay. And she's pretty open about that. And she shares that all the time. And then also I think like mental health, being around her and having that mentorship and is that beneficial for you?
Yeah, for sure. She's like, I've been learning a lot just being around her as far as like the business side of jiu-jitsu, that I haven't really seen or, been exposed to the knowledge here, just because like it's not something that like I've really been talking with people around here. And so, one thing exactly like you said about fighter pay, she's more than happy to like, talk to whoever, just, make sure like the fighters are getting paid what they need, because being a professional athlete and, living, especially if your main source of income is competing, like so a lot of people have gyms and they compete, so that, their main source of income is the gym. But like more athletes that are, more like just sufficient on like fighter pay. It's, it's a big deal in making sure they're getting paid, what's reasonable for them, and so she's wanting to like make sure that, people that don't know how much they should be getting paid, are getting paid what they need, or what they should be getting paid, not getting lowballed or, whatever. So, I think that's a really great thing. And I've been around that. I'm learning the business side of things and even how to like manage certain things on my, social media. She's really she knows how to do that a lot really well. So, yeah, it's been great, being around that because I'm getting to learn a little bit more business side of things that I haven't learned yet, So it's like, you don't know what you don't know. And I don't know this stuff. So it's nice to learn that,
Yeah, just marketing yourself and being able to, I guess, know what you're worth. And is that a goal for you, just to be able? I mean, you're pretty much doing it now, but just, eventually, like, earn more and make more money and just like compete and if things are good.
That would be great. That would be that would be great. Gordon Ryan, he seemed to do a pretty good job of that. He's just competing and he's got a bunch of other stuff, so he's able to just live off of that. That would be cool. But eventually, I think even if I was able to just, like if I was able to live off just competing, that would be great because then I wouldn't have to, teach, because like right now I'm teaching to like pay my bills, and so which is understandable. But that would be cool. But I still think even if I was able to do that, eventually I'd like to have a school, and because I do enjoy teaching, it would give me a little bit more freedom if I was able to just compete, because then I'd have the financials to be like 100%. That's what I'm focused on. I'm 100% focused there, but I still have to, I have to teach a couple hours throughout the week, to make sure I can, pay my gas, pay my food and all that other stuff.
You mentioned Gordon Ryan. I think of like the instructionals and the seminars that he does, and that has to be a big part of his income. If you were to release one, like even now or like in the future, what do you think it would be on?
I think it would be an instructional about heel hooks in the gi, and say heel hooks work in the gi too. Nah, I don't know, man. I feel like you'd probably be something guard related, leg lock related, maybe a little bit of wrestling thrown in. I don't know, because I feel like my A game, is my guard, and that's what I feel like I'm most confident in is my guard and my leg locks, and that's how I've won my last 3 fights, has been all via heel hook of some sort, and I feel most confident in my guard, but like I had said earlier, like I've really been evolving my wrestling and my other areas of my game. So I don't know, I feel like my first DVD, if I were to do it, would definitely be like a guard instructional. I've learned so much from Lucas Valente, and he's got, the best guard in the world, so like I definitely would be able to take the knowledge that he's given to me and that I've implemented in my guard and probably put that into an instructional.
Okay, so I was thinking of a video game, and you're saying, hey, I'm working on my wrestling. So let's say there were sliders. You had to create a player. You're the player. You're the character, and your guard.
Okay.
Heel hooks is up all the way up. What would you like to move your sliders up on right now? If there was like 2 or 3 parts of your jiu-jitsu, if you could just overnight move it to 100 on the sliders.
I don't know, man. I feel like, I always feel like you can always improve, so maybe like improve, like, I like my guard, but improve that too, improve my passing, you're always learning, right? So it doesn't matter, like, even if you're the best guy in the world, you can always learn something, so I don't feel like I'll ever be at, 100 on the scale, but, definitely I think probably my passing, I'd say that. Because I feel like that's if I were to say weakest point, that's probably like my weakest point in my game. Because I feel really good on the feet wrestling, and then I feel, great in my guard. Like whenever I go to compete, I'm like once I pull a guard, I'm like, all right, this is my world now. Like I'm good, So I feel like if I had to improve that, just to round out my game as a whole, would be probably passing.
Awesome. Okay, so just a reminder. Tomorrow, Joshua Cakes Dawson is going to be competing at Fight to Win 193 in Austin, Texas. That's Saturday, February 5th. It's going to be an exciting match. I'm excited to see it. Josh, is there anything else you'd like to share that we haven't talked about or you want to touch again?
if you're in Austin, come check it out. It's going to be a great night. The main event's going to be Victor Hugo, and that man's a beast. So it's going to be great. Come check it out. If not, you guys can watch it live on Flow Grappling. Also, follow my Instagram, cakes_BJJ. And in there, I have some of the best CBD products in the world. Use my code CAKES15 and get you guys some of those products.
Awesome. Thank you so much for making time today. Good luck tomorrow, and I appreciate you making time.
Of course, man. Appreciate you having me on. It's been great.
This is Clear Life